Well, it's the Anti-MAGA Cuban. 2 weeks later, make another video. Um, I'm really at a loss for words at what's it going to take for the Cuban American community in South Florida to finally start waking up. But I mean, it's already happening with the Venezuelans, and it's actually happening with a lot of Americans in general. Watching videos of town hall meetings of some people, some of which even voted for Trump, just going after their congressmen, their representatives who are defending Trump, mostly because of Elon Musk. Because, again, Elon Musk is not on the ballot. And yet, he's running the show, basically, more than Trump is. And people are like, they're just sick of it. And then Trump just released this video, this ridiculous video, of AI video too, because these people can't even make something really, of like the Gaza Riviera, Trump Gaza, and it's just like the most disgusting thing ever. And you know it's bad because a lot of his supporters are like, Trump, what the fuck is this? Even a lot of his supporters are completely disgusted by this Trump Gaza shit. And you gotta look at this shit. Like, this guy put himself gold statues in the Holy Land. I mean, if you're really a Christian, that should be the most appalling thing out there for you. He got bearded belly dancers for someone who's supposedly against drag queens. The most sickening is these AI generated videos of little Palestinian kids like excitedly catching money falling out of the sky. Like, these people lost their families, you piece of shit. They don't care about your fucking fake ass money that you're not gonna even give them. So this Trump Gaza thing has really pissed off people, even his own base. Obviously, those who are against Trump are even more revolted. But we're not surprised. I'm disgusted by it, but I'm not surprised. It's part of the course. But his supporters are like, even going like, what the fuck? This is a bridge too far, even for you. And I haven't brought this up to my Cuban relatives because it's pointless. They don't care about anyone anywhere that's not Cuba anyway. And I had a long conversation with my cousin who's also anti-MAGA. And yeah, she says it's the most ridiculous thing. It's just pure ignorance and hatred that, Miami especially was never like this super amazing place of tolerance by any means. But it wasn't this bad. People were not this hateful. Not until Trump came around, And if they were pretty good at suppressing it. But I don't know. I believe two things can be true. I believe that there's people who, they've always been racist and bigots and sexist and assholes. And I also believe, and now Trump is emboldened them, but I also believe that there's people who weren't this way and became this way. I believe that it's twofold. I don't think it's just one way or the other. I think both of these are true. Now, the last time I talked to my mom about this kind of stuff, it kind of exploded into a fight, an ugly fight, and that's not really what I want. But it's also like, you guys need to understand what the fuck you voted for, that you're cheering on the destruction of this nation. Trump is trying to become a dictator. He's gonna have setbacks and roadblocks, but that doesn't mean he won't do a lot of damage. He already is doing a lot of damage. Another ghoulish thing that the administration is doing is the White House recently posted an ASMR video of ICE detainees in shackles. Like, the fuck? What the fuck? Look, you're gonna deport people that aren't here legally, that's one thing. But you're then gonna record ASMR videos? For those that don't know, ASMR is it's like audio, just audio videos where you just hear pleasant sounds, like the sound of rain, the sound of somebody typing on a computer. It's supposed to be pleasant background noise, not horrible background noise. That's not, if you get at ease, if you get pleasure, if you get any kind of pleasant feeling from hearing that, you're a sick fuck. You are a sick fuck. Like, regardless of your stance on immigration, you know that people are suffering. Even if, I wouldn't even listen to ASMR of like sex traffickers and murderers and child rapists being arrested. No, I'll watch a video of that, sure, but I'm not gonna sit there at my fucking computer at work and have that on the background, the same that I would like the sound of birds. Like, that's some weird shit. That's some weird, twisted shit. I don't want to be hearing that. What's next? Plane crash ASMRs? I mean, that's very Trumpian for 2025, isn't it? What frustrates me with my own family, though, I can't even talk to them about this because they're not even like informed about this kind of shit, and I'm not blaming them for being like. I don't expect my mother, who's 49 years old, and she has a job and a house and kids, and I don't expect her to fucking like, at her age especially, know what the fuck ASMR is. But to explain the concept, mom, that they're using the sound of people getting arrested by ICE for this audiophile shit of like, oh, what a pleasant sound. Like, I open my window and I can hear the birds, and you're putting that in the same level. It's bizarre. And I really don't know how to get to some people. I feel like white Americans are much easier to reach to than Cubans. My own people are the hardest to reach at because there's just something, I don't know, there's something very myopic about the Cuban American community in South Florida. And it doesn't even expand to the Cuban Americans who live outside South Florida. Because if you're outside South Florida as a Cuban, you are definitely a minority. If you're in South Florida as a Cuban, you're technically not the majority, even in Miami or Dade County, because I think Cubans make up like 30-something%, which is probably the largest group, but not the majority. But you're definitely the group in power. You're not the group in power in Kansas. So a lot of Miami Cubans don't realize, like, the unique position that they're in, where they're privileged in where they are, but if they go anywhere else, they're just another Hispanic immigrant group. And they look down on Mexicans, but if they go to Texas, if they go to California, they're going to be behind the Mexicans in social status because a lot of those Mexicans have been there for generations and are way more Americanized than the Cubans in South Florida are. But Cubans believe they have some kind of exceptionalism. They think we're all special, that we're different from all the other immigrants. And we're not. We're just like any other immigrant group. A lot of us are white technically, and like we're of European descent, but that doesn't make us better than anybody else. Just because I got European features instead of African or indigenous features does not make me better than somebody from Guatemala or Puerto Rico, which are technically Americans, or Mexico or Honduras or anywhere. Like, we're all basically in this rat race anyway, trying to make ends meet. We should be making allies, not enemies. The fact of the matter is, we need to also, if a Trumper is willing to like change sides and listen to the truth, which I do know some they have, then we need to extend an olive branch and say, welcome to our side. We can't just say, fuck you because you voted for him. No, we need to get past that. We need these people on our side because look, there's not going to be a presidential election until the next 4 years, but we need people fighting against this now. We can't do 4 years of this. We will be a fucking shipwreck by then. And we've already got leaks coming in and out. It's funny because one of my cousins, his ex-girlfriend, I don't think she's Cuban. I think she's Dominican or something, or Puerto Rican, or maybe some kind of mix. I don't know. She's Afro-Latina, from what I can tell. And she used to be like a pro-Trump, moderately conservative person, and now she can't stand him. And she's still conservative on some issues, I can tell, but she's swinging more to the left, and that's fine. You don't have to be a liberal or a leftist, but just like you don't have to be any of that to see how fucked up Trump is. So it is, some people are starting to wake up, and that's good. But we need more. We need to sound the alarms. We need the rooster crowing. Get the fuck up out of bed. Wake up, and we can't tolerate this shit. We can't let this happen. We can't let this country be dismantled. If you love this country, you do not want to see this country get torn to pieces, and that's what Donald Trump is doing. And Elon Musk. And J.D. Vance. And the spineless Republican Party that we currently have.